Australian super seaweed supplement to reduce cattle gas emissions wins $1 million international prize.
Here's a summary of the article.
There's an ingredient in the seaweed that stops the last little process on the way of producing methane from the little microbes that produce it, Dr. Battaglia said. Dr. Battaglia said a happy byproduct of producing less methane was that the energy then stayed in the animal. Instead of going into producing methane, other microbes come along and then produce the good things, the fatty acids and things, that the animal goes on to produce milk or meat with, he said. Push to lower agricultural emissions as nations across the world prepare for next year's COP26 Glasgow Climate Change Conference, pressure to lower agricultural emissions across the globe is mounting. A recent Technical University of Munich study found social and environmental costs of emissions were currently not considered in the cost structure of farmers or the subsequent food chain. Find more local news looking at German agriculture. It found other market participants, future generations, and the natural environment were bearing the cost of meat prices, which did not reflect their cost. Last year Meat and Livestock Australia said it believed a zero carbon footprint was possible nationally by 2030, and the sector had already significantly slashed emissions.
This post received a score of 23,000, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Oh cool. I read an article about this phenomenon like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'd been hoping to see widespread commercial applications of it ever since, but hadn't until now. Glad to see it getting some traction.
This is a great step, but I kinda wish the livestock market would see a considerable decline. They're destroying precious forests and such to make room for them. It's like a band-aid being put on a real problem, but I understand people want their meats, and they want lots of the meats.
For that you would need cultured meat, which is starting to make progress into the market but is still a few years away from being widespread.
With a carbon tax, prices on meat will go up, which will reduce meat consumption, even without cultured meat. People buy more as prices go down, and less as prices go up. So a carbon tax would definitely reduce the size of the livestock industry.
Now this is the type of research I fully support. These type of things are a betterment for the world as a whole. I wonder what other weird amazing things are yet to be discovered. Like, scientists figured out that feeding whales coconuts causes them to excrete a chemical that filters and detoxifies the salt water in the ocean from plastics.
Exactly, we need more funding for these types of projects.
Greater than last year Meat and Livestock Australia said it believed a zero carbon footprint was possible nationally by 2030, and the sector had already significantly slashed emissions. Returning the revenue as an equitable dividend in fact, and allows for a higher carbon price which because enacting a border tax would protect domestic businesses from foreign producers not saddled with similar pollution taxes, and also to enact their own. The U.S. according to most of the $5.2 trillion in subsidies for fossil fuels come from not taxing carbon as we should. There is general agreement among economists on carbon taxes whether you consider or it is literally Econ 101. The idea, thanks to researchers at MIT, you can see for yourself how it compares with other mitigation policies here, climate offensive, citizens climate US. Yay, but do you have a source for this?
I know this is a serious topic, but pouring tons of money, science, and innovation into reducing cow farts is hilarious. And a great way to reduce GHG emissions.
And GHG emissions are so far down the list of environmental factors that are currently driving our environment to destruction.
Factory farming is hell on earth.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.